Hey, I just finished up my webinar on using AI prompts to craft your signature story, and I promised all of the participants that I was going to have a recording. Well, as it turns out, I must have forgotten to push record. So I'm going to go ahead and re-record the component with the demo for the AI prompts using ChatGPT, and we're just going to leave the presentation out of it. But for those of you who missed this webinar, here are the main components of the webinar, the actual demonstration of how you use ChatGPT AI to craft your signature story. So let me share my screen and we'll get started with this so that I can honor my commitment to share what we did. So first off, let me move this thing out of the way. I don't know exactly where you need to go. So when you start out, well, first off, I need to remove this. The folks that were in my presentation did get to learn a little bit about AI PRM, and this is a Chrome extension that has a bunch of pre-written prompts that you can use to help you manage your life, your business, your efficiency, whatever. And look, there's over 4,000 prompts in here now. But in order to show you this demonstration, I'm going to turn off this prompt. All right, so now we're going to come back and we're going to refresh and we're going to start creating the story. So when I talked about this in my webinar, I talked about the fact that there are multiple storytelling frameworks, but the one that we're using for this demo is the hero's journey. And so if you are going to craft your story for your hero's journey, the really cool thing is if you start with a prompt, and the way that I work with these prompts is I always ask at the end if it understood me. So in this case, I asked, to provide me with the prompts necessary to craft my signature story using the hero's journey framework. And as I said, ChatGPT understands the framework. It knows what all of the elements are of this framework, as well as any other storytelling framework. So depending on which one works best for you, that's the one you can use. But for this example in this demo, we use the hero's journey. So then when I asked a question, it came back and agreed that it understood what it was. It asked for the response. And I was using just in order to expedite this, I used the story of Luke Skywalker. So we start out with his ordinary world and paste that in there. And again, one of the things that I did mention in the webinar was that you should always use your own voice. Make it as if you're having a conversation with someone, or you're telling a story to your children. Don't use corporate jargon. Don't become overly complicated or trying to be over sophisticated. Use the language that you would use in your regular, ordinary life. And remember too that each of these prompts is a piece of the puzzle, that you're creating a holistic vision of your story from the beginning to end, and each of the elements that you're feeding back to this ChatGPT is going to comprise a part of the story. So make sure that there is some sort of tie-in, there's consistency in the information that you're providing back to the tool. So we first start out providing the ordinary response. There's several responses here, and I just copied and pasted to expedite this process in the demo. So the next thing is a call to adventure. This is Luke's call to adventure. Then they asked, the next one is and you notice how ChatGPT is actually prompting the next element of the hero's journey. So it's asking now for the refusal of call. Again, this will take just a little bit, so we're going to just go through this. It'll ask next about meeting the mentor, which is an element of the hero's journey. And then it will ask next about crossing the threshold and how that happened. Again, as I said, we're just crafting Luke's story here because it is someone that we probably all know and understood the challenges and triumphs of this character. So the next thing is the test the allies and enemies. I'm going to copy and paste that into here. then it comes back with, and then one thing about AI and ChatGPT, we know that it's not, fully efficient and always right in its current form. So even you can ask the question the same way, and sometimes it responds a little bit different. So you can, tweak your questions a little bit if you need to really get it to, work with you in the way that is comfortable for your interaction. So next here we have the approach to the inmost cave, and talks about what that is. Like, so, when it's prompting you, it's going to tell you to describe, the approach. And again, this is your story, so make it compelling. Then we have the ordeal and the return. So I'm going to get that content, pump it over here. Then we have the road back. So we'll pull that. We're just a few prompts away from the story culmination. Then we have the resurrection. I think I gave it the wrong prompt there. So, or during confrontation. Did I read that one right? Ordeal. Let's just do reward. I'm going to go ahead and push this in here because I want to make sure it knows that there was a reward, because on the ordeal and reward, I only put in the ordeal. So I want to make sure that it knows this as well. Okay, and then we need to do the roadblock. See how, I mean, it kind of gets a little bit kludgy whenever you skip a response. So hopefully you don't have that challenge. I just want to make sure he gets the whole story. So here we go. I'm going to push it in here. I'm going to go ahead and do it here. Now we're at the resurrection. Okay, so now it comes back and it tells his whole story here. So you'll see how it can combine all of those responses that you provided through the prompts and turn into your hero's journey. So this, provides back the whole journey here. So again, once you get this information out, then you can take it and tweak it and make it more your own. But the primary thing is that knowing that you can craft your story using basically any framework, because again, here, this is asking about the same questions in prompt form, but this is going to be for Freytag's pyramid framework instead. So here, this is one where it actually asked it one prompt at a time, like I asked it to, even though in the last one it didn't. So it's asking the first prompt when I answer this. We can let me show you. We'll answer this first one, the first story. We'll just use the ordinary world for this prompt, and then you'll see that again, for this new thing, it's going to ask for the next prompt in the framework of the Freytag's framework. So I hope that that was intuitive for you, to know that you can use the tool to prompt you to fill in the blanks for your signature story when you don't necessarily know what to say about yourself. Because one of the things that's true for me, and I mentioned this in the webinar, is that it's easy for us to really tell other people's stories or tell stories of characters that we read about, but sometimes it is difficult to tell our own story. So when you're using these AI prompts, it actually helps you extract and pull out the information from you that you might not have used had you just wrote it down on a piece of paper yourself. So I hope that you find using these AI prompts for crafting your signature story useful. And if you do, that you can always work with me. on, continuing to build whatever collaterals that you want to build for your business. I've used AI for creating contracts, creating statements of work, and of course, creating, all kinds of social media content, and also using mid-journey prompts within ChatGPT to feed into visual tools that are AI creation tools to create the images that are crafted by the words from ChatGPT. So I'm such an technology and AI geek. I hope to keep coming back and sharing more of this stuff with you. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I also offer a free discovery call to see how we can work together, or if you know how you already want to work together and you have just some things that you want to work through using AI or process or any kind of technology, then reach out to me using my success sessions call, and we can just get right on the phone and get to work. So I am wishing you nothing but success on your journey of continuous improvement, and I'll see you on the other side.